I guess President Trump is marching on, and he's on track, I think, to keep more of his promises, or at least make every measure to make these promises come true for the American people. And he's got a lot of things on his plate, a lot of things he's working around. It's like a slurry of activity going around him. We have, I guess, we still got the egg crisis going on. What have you heard about it, Steve? I mean, it's like, have they tried to find
Well, I
measures?
mean, they're predicting that egg prices are going to go up by 20% over this next year. And they're compounded by what the Democrats did to us in Michigan by making requiring that our eggs come from cage-free chickens.
Yeah, see, and that's gonna, and I bet you that was pushed through by leaders of the egg industry who actually have those kind of measures in place,
Well,
and
it's
they can absorb that. They already got that cost up front. So
right, and they put the small little farmer out of business, and then they make all this money with the shortage of eggs, which are up higher. So they win, we lose, we always lose. Just
yeah,
like if you look at, I don't know, I just look at things that I bought a year ago compared to what I'm buying at the grocery store now. How much bigger things were, like detergents and different things.
yeah, that's
How
what. And
But
I've
we're
also,
still paying the same price.
well, just look around. As you try to go buy a pound of bacon, you grab a bag, a package out of the
It's
freezer.
not even a pound
It's not
anymore,
a
it's
pound.
12 ounces.
Ounces, yep. Considerable reduction. And it looks the same. It looks like the same size package. Mine registers and they just grab it up. I actually did find one full 16-ounce one time. It was a cheaper brand, but I mean, hey, still, you just drain the fat and eat it anyway. That's what they're doing. They actually force us to and the thing is, these assholes, excuse me, that's all I think they are. These people are saying, we care about, what people eat. No, you're not. You're forcing people to pay more for it. They will never get access to the the fruit and vegetables, because you're already making every inner city, supermarket basically like a desert because of your practices. And then you could, it's ridiculous. And
Well,
this
I
is now,
mean, yeah, because the smaller markets, they don't have the money to eat up, because there's hundreds of pounds of vegetables that are thrown away and fruits every day at a supermarket because they're too old. You know what I mean?
right.
The shrinkage that a smaller market has to go through, they can't afford to have fresh fruits and vegetables.
Right, and they don't. And let's face it, they don't get the break. They don't get the breaks for the on the taxes. They don't get the. They just don't have the buying power, so they're already paying up front more for the products they're trying to distribute in their on their outlets. It's ridiculous. And these people who are these Democrats and these, like, I mean, Whitmer.
And
I mean,
that's
I
the
guess
thing about it. They're other human beings that they have to know
they
what
don't
it's
care.
like to be a regular person.
I don't think they care. I don't think.
Sometimes I think sometimes I think they think that they're doing things for the greater good, but whose greater good? Not ours.
No, look, what I've read about Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, she's a silver spoon. Hell, she's got a platinum spoon in her mouth. She's never worked a day in her life. I mean, she went to law school, which guarantees you don't have to ever do anything. You still have a high paying job, because even if you fail the bar exam, at least you know how to get around somewhat legal stuff. But I'm not pleased by people reelecting her. This is the second term for her, and she's miserable.
Well, at least she's going to be termed out, and then we might get Booty Edge in her
Uh,
place.
oh God,
Can you
he's.
believe that man would actually try to run for governor of Michigan?
Yeah, I do, because he's an arrogant person. He thinks he's going to have that support. And guess what, Steve? I think basically because we got such a left leaning group of
Well,
people
think
in
about
Michigan,
it.
he's
They
got a
didn't
shot.
give us a very good choice last time.
No, no, they didn't.
I mean, I can't remember her name. She was supposed to be the darling, and she's still on all these shows, but she didn't. The only reason she got there is because they said that everyone else is like, that they're um what's the word I'm looking for? That their signatures didn't count. They didn't. Are you going to help me?
Yeah, Tudor Dixon, I think it was the name. Wasn't it Tudor Dixon you were talking about, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't find any of these people palatable. I mean, the Republican Party has not in Michigan is basically locked in. The one or two families control it, and they also say the yay or naysayers who's going to be allowed to go for these different offices. They're the ones choosing it. I mean, the thing is, we should bring more people into the Republican Party. We should bring, and I hope that happens. But I've never been a Republican. I mean, not a registered Republican. I vote according to the individual being offered, and I haven't seen one of them offered lately. I mean, I
But
certainly
that's the problem. I mean, before that, Tudor Dixon, it was Shooty. Who
yeah,
won? Shooty has no personality at all.
no, I mean, John Engler, I did meet him back in the 90s. I met
Yeah,
him.
but he's not running.
Right, but I mean, he was the same prince. I mean, he got elected and he did okay, but I mean, when I first met him, he had no personality. I mean, I'm serious. He did. I was not impressed, but he did what he said he was going to
Okay,
do.
but what I'm saying is Shooty isn't he has the personality of the regular I'm owed because it's my turn Republican. That's
Right.
what I mean
He's not
by
working
no
for it.
personality. He
Yeah,
thought he was owed. It was his turn.
yeah, it's like, no, it's like I did your bidding for you, master. Now let me run.
And
Or
if you remember, he wouldn't come out for Trump.
no, no. I mean,
He's a never Trumper.
yes, I don't like Shooty. I mean, he's a career politician. He was a AG or something, not attorney. Was he
He was
attorney general?
Attorney General.
Yeah, it was for a while. He also been, and yeah, I know he's a lawyer, obviously, because he was an attorney general. But I mean, I wasn't all that thrilled with his track record as being the attorney general. I can't think of anything. I think he went after the
Nothing.
medical. Yeah, I don't think it. Matter of fact, stuff he went against, I was for. I think he was kind of trying to stop the medical marijuana thing initiative and stuff like that, if I recall correctly. So
Do you think it's time for daylight savings to go?
yeah, yeah, definitely. I was just reading up on that before we started, and I was like, it's not always been. It's like it's just a convenient, just a contrivance. I mean, it's not
Well,
something
Trump
that's going
called
to.
it an inconvenience.
It
He
is.
didn't come right out flat. He last time he said anything was December of last year about it being an inconvenience and it needed to be looked at. And there's been a bill in Congress for since 1990 something. I forget what the name of the bill is that they've already got. I don't understand and how the Democrats are going to be bemoaning it
Yeah,
as such a bad thing.
I looked up the plus and minus sides too, earlier, and what they say is the con side, not to for make a case against it, dropping it is ridiculous. I mean, they're not that all that good of points. It basically was just created to give, so they can didn't have to use electricity longer during the course of the
Well,
day.
remember it came out because of wartime.
Well, 1908.
That was the whole point, and
Okay,
it was for World War One. Was it World War One or World War Two? It came out to give more daylight to for the workers to work.
right, but I guess that would have been for the First World War, because every now after the First World War, that period of after that First World War period, they had more places that had electricity, going to it basically, so you can extend the day by having lights on, like
Right,
we do right
but
here.
that was the whole point that it
Right.
came about. It was supposed to help with the war effort, and and then what happened was it went away, but some states kept it, and then it came back into being for the next war.
Yeah, and now it's been the
And
standard
it's
since
also
then.
supposed to extend shopping hours too in the summertime. But I don't understand the whole thing. There's going to be people that are going to be arguing, but it's been a pain in the ass twice a year. It's a pain in the ass, and
Yeah,
it makes absolutely no sense.
well, a lot of research show that it causes more stress. There's people having more heart attacks, more
Car
strokes because of
accidents.
car accidents, make mistakes, and they don't realize the circadian rhythm or something like that we're attached to. We are animals in a lot of ways. We have our rhythms and stuff, bioflow or whatever you call it, or biorhythms or whatever, and that can't be ignored. And they try to just basically, and it is just because of industrialization, they adopted it anyway. They try to put as part of all
But
emissions.
everybody, for the most part, wants to get rid of it. But there's going to be those Democrats that are going to cry the bloody murder for I don't know what reasoning would be behind it.
I don't either. I like if you can make a good if they could come and make a case of why it shouldn't be, it should be just dropped. I mean, or can't be dropped and make the case. But I mean, I never heard anything but them, but whining from them. It's like they're just I don't know why they're resistant. I don't. I mean, only I know because Trump suggested it. Trump's for it. That's all I can see what's all going on there. But anyway,
Um, Trump's health officials may push to ban the COVID vaccination.
now this is
There's
all.
talks to get rid of it
I mean, like
because of health issues.
well, yeah, especially the ones with the RNA or mRNA or something like that, or just all of them across the board, or
That's what they're saying. There's
well,
too many health issues and deaths that they're thinking about getting this outright banning in the COVID vaccination.
well, I don't. Okay, somebody can always come forth and say there's an argument that they had to do what they did for the first time, but we learned. Okay, and I don't know why we have to go through the same stuff again and all the vilifying if somebody wants to resist it. I
But
didn't want
okay, but the people behind it knew that it was a lie from the beginning that they were pushing.
right.
That these guys were supposed to be the greatest scientists in America, and they let people think that if they got this vaccination that they weren't going to get COVID. Remember?
Yep. And then they said, "Oh, yeah, I guess you're gonna have to get the boosters. Always keep up with the boosters, because it's changing so
Right.
fast." Yeah, I know. Look at Fauci. He found out how many shots did he allegedly have, and he still got it. I mean, and I've known
I
some people.
don't know. I didn't want to say his name, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, the thing is that they have a high amount of people who are young people dropping dead of heart attacks when they're performing in sports and stuff like that in high school. And it's like it's these are athletes. These people are trained. They're not.
But remember, it's safe and effective,
Yeah, they're safe and effective. I mean,
and people are making money, and that's disgusting. How can you be in government and make money uh, over organizations that you oversee?
over and you
And
oversee,
there's
and you
no
also
investigation yet. Why? What are they waiting for?
because well, basically because they're trying to maybe he wants to move out of the country. The one individual we're talking about, I don't know. They
No,
should
if
have
they wait any longer, there'll be no. They won't be able to charge them with anything because everything will run out. All
statute of
the
limitations.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably what they're doing.
Yeah, you could
'Cause
run the clock out. Yeah, that's what it I mean, it's they do that approach. I mean, we also the people behind, going after the people of January 6th, I bet you there's gonna be delays in them coming to trial because they're gonna do the same thing and run the clock out again. And, there's only a couple of, crimes that are not considered, have a term not limit, but a statute of limitation. I think it's, treason and, also
murder,
murder and, some kind of,
anything Trump does.
Yeah, that's like yeah, they always throw that in the face too. On every post, and I see the Democrats saying he's a convicted felon. Yeah, well, you created a group of crimes, so you charged them and you convicted them of these contrived charges, and now you pat yourself on the back.
What do you
Hoorah.
think? There's talk that the Philadelphia Eagles may not go to the White House.
Hmm.
That they
Yeah,
might skip. I mean, supposedly they haven't been invited yet, but why wouldn't they go? It'd be pretty stupid, don't you think?
I,
Over 50% of the country voted for Trump,
I guess they just don't want to.
and you're going to snub everybody, and then nobody's going to watch football again.
Yeah, this like I think that's a good thing. If they just want to shoot themselves in the foot, I'm not going to stop them. I mean, I think they're idiots. And another thing is, I really don't
It's
want
not
to.
okay. They're one team,
Right.
and they're going to screw all the teams in the NFL by
Well,
not going.
maybe
Don't you think that that they should be told to go if they?
I don't know if I want anybody to be forced to do it, but I mean, I think it's stupid of them
But if
because
you
you
were
just
in
might as
charge
well
of
get
the
played.
NFL and if you were the commissioner in the NFL, wouldn't you tell them to go?
If I was a commissioner of the NFL, perhaps, yeah. But I mean, as a general person, I just think that forcing people to do something is not what I want to stand for. But I think
But
they're
you
stupid.
work for a business,
Well,
and
I
if your
always,
business tells you you're going to go, you're going to go, right?
oh, that's we all. I've always had to do everything that the boss told me to do, or the company or the organization I work for said that we had to do. So we had to follow the
But
line.
what I'm saying is they're going to hurt the other teams. They're going to hurt the NFL
Yeah,
because what statement are they making at this time? You know what I mean?
we're political, and you got to go along with our
What
political
political statement are they making by not going?
just because they're.
None that I
Well,
can see.
no, I think it's well. You've
They
already
hate the country.
already said over 50% of the people in the country voted for Trump as president. So they're just alienating themselves. I mean, I think it's cool if they want to
How
destroy
many
their own business.
transgenders do you think actually watch football?
I don't know. I don't know how many transgenders we have
Now,
in this
how
country
many
overall.
Trumpers do you think watch football? Maggotites.
I would say definitely probably I'm going to just go out there on the limb, probably say 70% of the people who are hardcore Trump supporters are sports fans. Probably
Right.
70, 80
But
percent.
if Philadelphia Eagles don't go to the White House and they snub Trump, I'm sure there'll be hell to pay for the NFL this summer.
So I think it's up to the other team members saying, "Hey, look, guys, you won. You won fair and square, I guess. So you're stupid for making this a hill to die on because you will die on it. You're gonna lose
Well, what I'm
momentum."
asking you, do you agree with me or not?
Do I agree with me forcing them to go? No, I
No.
don't.
Do you agree with me that if they don't go, it's going to be their downfall?
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, it's going to be their downfall. They're going to have the other. I think the other teams will pick up more loyal fans. The other ones that it could go either way. They
Okay,
could
you're
go,
not understanding. I'm saying if the Philadelphia Eagles does not go to the White House, there's not going to be football. No 50% of the country is not going to watch football.
And I already said that I think that the other team should probably put pressure on that way, saying we don't want to be labeled with you. We don't want to lose out. Go to the White House. That's what I said. But the other team members, the other teams would have to step, the other owners and everything else. But I mean, I don't like your command performances on anybody. I
But
mean,
if you work for somebody, you do what your employer tells you to do.
I already said that. Yeah, I already agreed
Right.
with you on that. Yeah, but I
It
mean, I
doesn't
just
matter if you agree with them or not. If
right.
they're your boss, you're going to do what you're told to do.
That's what I said. And when I worked for a place, they laid out the rules. Even if they had to come up with new rules, they laid them out. We followed them. I mean, you want a job, you get a paycheck from them. You have to go along with it. That's I don't know, but I don't know if the NFL has actually got the balls enough to actually stand for no pun intended to stand behind that kind of thing. I mean,
Well,
it's just
again, if they don't, it's going to be their downfall.
well, have they ever gained momentum after the kneeling incident?
Well, I think seeing that Trump went to the Super Bowl,
Mhm,
it made it okay for people to watch football again.
yeah. I'd say, and they probably did. I do. What was the numbers of how many people?
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I just think that I think this teams are stupid. I mean, I think the team's stupid for doing this. I mean, I don't like a lot of people just go up and say, get your picture taken with them, move on. I mean, you're not saying to endorse this individual or anything. It's part of the team. You're part of the team that won. You should be happy you won. You should be happy you won that. I
You
don't.
should be happy that you're invited to the White House.
You should be happy you're getting paid really damn well for doing what you do, what you love too. I mean, they're ungrateful. They're ungrateful bastards, I think. But
Well, I mean, I'm not going to belittle the whole team for something managerial staff may have made the decision. What do you feel about the Germany? They put a man in jail and fined him 600 euros for posting a poop emoji against the Green Party leader.
oh yeah,
So they
it's
went and they rounded him up.
public enemy number one. Yeah,
Mr.
a shit
Poop
poster,
emoji had to go to jail.
a true shit poster, right? No, yeah, I think it's thing is, I can't say anything smug about it because we got that kind of garbage going on here in this country. You don't agree with me, ruin
Not
your
to that
career.
point.
Well, yeah,
I
actually,
haven't seen other than that one guy that remember he told Democrats that the polls were closed, wait until tomorrow to vote, and he's in jail right now
yeah, no, he's in jail. Yeah.
for a meme against Hillary Clinton. How long ago is that?
God,
2016.
yeah, so yeah, we're not much better. I mean, they find a way if they don't like you and they don't like what you're saying, the powers that be are going to find a way to screw with you. And I mean, I don't want to see it done by the Republicans or the Democrats, but we let them get away with it. I mean, we don't call them out on it. This is all absurd. I thought with the First Amendment, and I'm the absolutist about the First Amendment. If you don't
But
like,
Trump actually commented on Joy Reid's getting the axe, and he went further and said MSNBC should pay for the harm that they did to America with people like her,
well,
with the misinformation and just the nasty person that she was or is.
well, I'd like to come up with a amount, send us a check. I'll take the check. I'm not going to say no, 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 no. If they want to write a check for us, or is it going to go to a government agency or to the individuals out there that might have listened to her? I think
I mean, like we talked before, I would like to see an HLN again where you can just go and just hear unbiased news at the top of the hour, what's going on.
right.
I mean, you could watch 10 minutes and find out what was going on in the United States and the world. It was pretty good, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, it was just basically what I was taught in journalism, junior high, high school, and high school when I took it, is basically you're supposed to report the facts, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. That's it. I mean, no, 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 no. Like you see these.
Well, they
headlines,
all think they're
you should
journalists
know.
now. They all think they're everybody calls herself a journalist. That the journalist is the person that writes the story. A reporter reports on the news.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good distinction. Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think we should have better journalists too. I think they should just say, "Here's the facts, write the facts, and present them to the talking heads." I mean, but they don't. They don't do that. They're ridiculous. I mean, they don't even have any pretense of being somewhat unbiased. They don't. They don't have any pretense for it now. Big bad boogeyman, Donald Trump. This is what he says. I mean, I'm not actually prevaricating by much. They actually say boo. Basically, they want to bring up the boos and the hisses. when they bring up his name.
It's just
It's
dumb.
ludicrous. Yeah.
It's just the majority of our comments are stupid comments like "Orange Man bad," he's a thief, and he's a felon.
What's what's
I
like,
mean, we get all kinds of likes and all kinds of views, but it just seems like the majority of the posts are just from drive-by keyboard warriors.
yeah, it's just like, well, that's just part of being on the out in the public. I mean,
Oh, I don't care. No,
I
they're
don't
not
care.
posting directed towards us. They're just angry that that we're talking about Trump, and
Right.
they
I
just
mean,
want to get their 2 cents in about how worthless Trump is.
well, when I worked at the college, and oh my God, I'm glad I've been spared not to have to be around that right now. If I was there and I had, Trump supporter like I always would be, oh my God, I could. And if somebody found out, I'd be wrote up or gone after for any imaginable reason. They are so vindictive. The academic world is, and it's like that. What they left. I mean, they go into screaming fits over nothing. I mean, I'm serious. They can't move on. They think they're the most well-adjusted people, but they're not. Everything's traumatic for them. They got to go to a shrink for everything. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I don't know how they get through life. I don't. I mean, they're just wussies, man. I'm serious. Anyway, what else? Like, okay, I don't know. It's like the vaccine bans. I'd like to. I'm gonna do more research on that to see if they're. But I like the idea that they're questioning the. I like people now, questioning the vaccinations. They didn't have that before. And did you remember how hard
We
they
should
fought?
be able to question vaccinations, and there should be a better report. You know what I mean? There should be a back end that people should be reporting directly to the government, saying that the problems that they're having, and also for healthcare workers to report what they see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. They went so extreme during the last time to prevent anybody from challenging the narrative or even posting things that were negative. I'm sick of that. I mean, we're a
I
free. We were
but
a
I
country.
think the America has learned a great lesson, and it's not gonna they're not gonna be able to do it again.
No, no, they're not. Not nowhere near as easily. Anyway, I mean, there's going to be a lot more resistance because let's face it, there's just too much. There's too much to just they can just gloss over on. They just can't hide it anymore. I mean, it wasn't that a damn effective. Time and time again, I've heard of people getting the shot, and there were the updates and the boosters and all that. And my own family members, a lot of them have got all of them. And they still ended up getting COVID. I took
But Trump wants to take over Washington D.C. and
you
get
mean
rid of
the
just
district.
Congress, just take it over and
Hmm.
just get rid of the mayor. And like it was run like that for hundreds of years.
Yeah, my
I
understanding.
think it would be better, don't you? I mean, okay, think about it. DC is for the for Congress and the president and the Supreme Court, right?
All right, it's supposed to be administrative
So
district.
why not just let Congress take care of the city?
Yeah, it should be a
Wouldn't it
direct route.
be better? It could just be a budgeted item.
Yeah, and the corruption for the city government would be largely eliminated. Of course, you'd be now in the federal government's hands, which is also corrupt. But yeah, I can see the point of that. I mean, it was supposed to be. From what I understand, it was never supposed to be a city like it is now. It was supposed
No.
to be an
Well,
administrative district.
but you remember not only the Democrats always tried to make it like a state
Right,
so they could have senators and representatives from that. It's stupid. It's like letting government have a union.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, well, of course they definitely they would have the ability to strike or strike back anyway. I mean, they're punitive, and no, I think that's where we should never abandon the way it was supposed to have been. I mean, you bring up several times about how we elected, how the senators came about. The change in how the senators for the states
They
were
were
chosen.
before they were just appointed by the state house, and if the
Right.
state house didn't like what they were doing, they would just recall them and put new people in there.
See, it should have never been. And see, that was the same time frame that they established the Federal Reserve and all kinds of host of other
And
things.
income tax.
And so it took away the sovereignty of the United States, the people of the United States in the process. I mean, everything they did was aimed towards that. Of course, they say we have greater. Look at all we
Well,
done,
I
all
mean,
the
and if you
projects we
go
created.
into it, that our schooling was put into by I think of was it the Rockefellers
Mhm.
that developed that made it an 8-hour shift and just teaching the workers what the workers need to know.
Right. Well, you'll have some advocates too saying they want to have like business leaders, have a hand in the
No, I'm saying
decision
it was
making.
created by the Rockefellers,
Right.
our educational system that we know of today.
Well,
Why does a kid have to go to school for 8 hours?
right. It's just because to get them ready to do the shift, the
Yeah,
8 to 10 hour shift. But like I said, too, some people have this idea that the government, business leaders should have a hand in deciding what's going to be taught in the classroom. And I could see that to a minute degree, but not as much as we're talking about here. And that's what it was. It was big. It was influenced by corporations, and the Rockefellers were always they were not
no, they
they didn't
wanted
have
to
the
keep
assessment.
them dumb. They just
Yeah.
wanted dumb workers just to know and not question, and just come in and work their shift and do what they're told to do.
Well, look at what the things in America we have coffee breaks, okay. In other countries they have tea breaks, okay. But there's a difference. The reason why is coffee's high octane, caffeine, there, and that's where they want you to be pumped up, get a little sugar, so you can be fueled for the next few hours in that shift that's just remaining. That's all it was for. I mean, and also the education system was you had 3 months off because it was during everybody was a farmer back then, so they had 3 months off so the kids could take part in the harvesting and all that stuff. But I
Right.
mean, now that's gone by the wayside. How many people in the population are
I
employed?
think it depends what part of the America you live in.
Right,
I know up north of Bay City, they still have big farms that need
right.
their kids during the summer.
So they
And
can
then the Nebraska in the Midwest.
so they can have they can have those 3 months off, and the rest of the country doesn't need that time off. They don't. I mean, I'm saying that now. I love the 3 months off when I was a kid, believe me. But guess what? Things change, and we got to be more competitive. And our kids are not getting education. We're not. They're failing miserably in every standardized testing and the
Oh,
elimination.
especially in Michigan.
Oh, it's horrible, especially with Genesee County, Flint area. Oh my, in Flint area. I'll just go that route. I don't know all the suburban schools, but I mean Flint. I don't even know if we basically don't even have appreciable education system left in the
I don't
city.
know anything. I don't know anybody that goes to the Flint schools.
But did you see I don't know if you've been keeping up with it. There's a plans they've for tried to revitalize and redevelop the old Flint Central building, the Central High School building.
What for?
Yeah, it's like, well,
No,
yeah,
I mean, what do they want to make it?
they want to make it like a hub for all the education, like bring in all the schools, high school, junior high or middle school and elementary school, have them all there. And I think
So
Southwestern,
they want to put money into a crappy building
it's really
instead
bad.
of just give it to the schools in the city.
It's just, yeah, that's
They
there's a
government knows best.
right. Did you see what the price they actually got charged for this just for a study? It was $755,000 just for a study, and they came up, of course, with a plan and what it's going to look like, But I don't see the point of it. I don't know if we have that many kids to warrant developing that kind of thing. I don't. I mean,
This doesn't make
somebody.
any sense.
I know it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I think the public school system is kind of if they think that there are a lot of stuff that they roll their eyes and say that's outdated. Well, I think the public education
I think
system is kind of going to
I
be
don't
challenged
know.
too.
I think at least my high school and everything. It was like I learned more in high school than I did in college classes.
Yeah, there's some high schools. I mean, I've learned 2 classes I had in high school, you in the law class and, economics consumer guy who taught it was he was at both classes. He was the head football coach for Central, and, those are 2 of the most beneficial classes I ever took. I'm serious. All the time I took in high school. I learned biology and stuff, but I knew what where babies came from already. So, but, no, other than that, I mean, yeah, no, typing class was the best thing I ever had in junior high, quite frankly, because
But
that's what we used for typing.
you were going to talk about some of the things that Moss talked about today.
Okay, he talked about Title 10 or Title 9, excuse me, Title 9 fund, the where the allowance for money going into the women's sports was like it was in the 70s they pushed that through to bring equality to the athletics departments and stuff to give equal footing economically to have all these programs. So now the guys, obviously the transgenders or the transsexuals are now want to be in women's sports. And that's not the intention of it. And they don't see that to be the left, though, doesn't see that as a violation of the very purpose and intent of Title 9. And I know some people who are actually pioneers in that area who actually heavy lobbied. Their family members are still present with us, and they told us that that goes against the very thing that they fought for to get to Title 9 funding for. I mean, you're basically having men getting the double benefit. They can go to the male sports, or they can
Well,
take
you got to remember a
female
lot.
sports.
I don't know when Title IX exactly came out, but it was during a different era
Right.
where common sense, they would never think what's. I mean, think about it. All this. All this stuff that's happened with the transgenders and the pronouns has been in the last 5 years.
Right. It's like, well, look at the exception to gay marriage. I mean, it was just an idea, and you heard it on TV shows. People, it was a sense of people were is this a comedy line basically, and then somebody started taking it seriously. Now they got it. I don't know if they can pull back on that or whatever. I don't care. But yeah, just whoever thought 10 years ago, yeah, well, this is going to be a serious issue for this country. Are you serious? This is like, we're going to have to
Well,
make
they
this
did
decision.
predict it. Remember how many people were saying it's a slippery slope?
Yeah.
It's gay marriage today, and it's exactly what they said was going to happen.
Yeah, I know
And
everybody
people
rolled their
laughed at them. Remember?
Oh yeah, they all roll their eyes. Like I said, you've heard me use analogy before. We've all seen TV shows where they have a person going to city hall, and there's always somebody. There was always at every city council meeting harping on the same thing over and over again. Big eye roll. Well, you have these people saying, "What this is going to? This is a slippery slope." Oh, come on, you just can't understand freedom. Well, it is a slippery slope. I mean, freedom is a slippery slope in its own right, but it's bizarreness. I think they go out of their way to find bizarre scenarios and push them down create and push them along. I think it is a bizarre scenario. Okay, I guess I'm being labeling people, but I think it's bizarre if you're a male saying you're identified being a female. Okay, I don't understand the premise of that. I don't understand the purpose of that. Okay, maybe if you're gay, you like the person who's the same sex member as you are, but I mean that's reality. But to ask me to
But
go
to
along
have
with
to
your
have a
sport,
law. I
yeah,
understand why Title IX came to be before is just to make sure that females had sports to play and
right,
that money was given to them for their scholastics
right.
as well as the male. That's fair. I think that's fair. I
I,
mean, especially with your tax dollars,
yeah,
that girls should have just as much chance as boys in high school.
because I think I had no issue with that, and most of the people I knew didn't have issue with that. I mean, some people see the real serious value of having athletics in high school, and I can see both sides of that. I mean, so it's a part of the education program of schools and colleges. So fine,
And plus, it
guarantee
gives her structure and discipline.
right. So I mean, I see the benefits of it. So I mean, but now I mean, just muddying the waters this way, it's stupid. I mean, if
I
you're
mean, whoever thought that there would be transgenders would be under Title IX?
Yeah, it's like I bet you the people who wrote this back in the 70s are like, what the hell? Bring them back to life because a lot of them are past, deceased now. I mean, I bet you they would be like a woman I know whose mom was a big proponent and pushed for Title IX funding. She would say, my mom would not want this at all. And I know she wouldn't. This goes against what she was pushing for. So I mean, I don't know. People, this country. It's a the thing is, I think sometimes we're overreactive to people's impulses. I mean, I think they over respond to them, don't you? I mean, there's got to be a reason for this. There's got to be a law, and then, damn it, if somebody doesn't come along and try to create a law, I mean, even if it's
But I
not,
think we're at the point where we're done with hysterics. That people actually take the time to, okay, somebody comes up yelling or speaking loud. People take the time to think stuff out now. It's not like before where the loudest person, now the loudest person gets told to shut up.
yeah. And maybe we're going back and letting adults run the country again. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, we should always be more. I mean, I listen to people. I mean that. I've listened to people, and there's some people I know they're going the direction they take this argument. I've heard it before and over, but I let them get their points out. It's hard, believe me, to hear these same points brought over and over and over again. You got them already defeated in your mind, you know that, but you can still got to give them a hearing. But no, I mean, we didn't do that. Somebody screamed the loudest. That's who got all the attention, and everybody
Right.
responded to him. And so
And
just
but like I said, I don't think that's happening anymore. That people are not afraid to stand up for what's right.
I'm glad for that. I mean, if Trump does anything, if the election of Donald Trump does that alone, that's worth bringing him on back into office. I mean, my opinion, because we just got too far off. I mean, it's
Well, I mean,
insane.
when you're forced to have a male in a female shower area,
Mhm.
that's wrong.
Yeah,
Anybody knows that's wrong. Just because a person says I feel like a woman doesn't make it okay.
that song by Shania Twain just popped in my head. Sorry, that's what I was laughing. Yeah, I feel like a woman, and it's like,
I
oh
mean,
my
there's
god,
such a small percentage of transgenders as it is. It seems like they would be upset about this, especially when I forget what state it is. Just before I came down to do the show with you, that a guy was being arrested. He spent like 20 years or 16 of the last 20 years in jail for pedophilia. And now he's saying he's a woman going into female locker rooms,
Yeah,
and
so
it's
that,
okay.
yeah, he's a predator. He's a predator. I mean, but no, we got to allow a predator. And then what are they going to do once there's a victim? What are they going to do? Say, well,
Well, they've had victims.
I know, but
They make it okay.
see, I just
That's one out of hundreds.
yeah, they just want to roll. Yeah, just we'll just go move on with your life. Just get over it. That's everybody. And I don't like anybody saying that to anybody. I mean, if they
No,
got an issue with something, they're bringing it up to you. You got to at least listen to it. But no, you're just being bigoted. Okay, you're bringing this up because that's a special group. I mean,
no, because it's not right. The majority of the people think it's not right.
and, but who? Yeah, and that's just so weird. Just a small portion of this population gets to decide what we're have to live with.
I don't even think the small portion of the population wants to be represented by the people that, because if you think about it, for the majority, it's dumb white women
Yeah.
that are the ones out there screaming.
Yeah, the ones that are like I'm going to hysterics and are the one that wore the vagina hats during the first of it during Trump's first election, which
I
was a
don't know.
total absurdity. That's a country for you. I mean, our country is bizarre that way. I mean, there's no
No,
real
we've made it, but like I said, and we're coming out of it. I think it's like people are waking up and coming out of a sleep, and they just can't believe that what happened over the last 5 years.
and I'm dismayed by it. I was conscious through all of it, man. It's like almost coming out of like a almost I thought I was hoping I was in a coma and that's the stuff I was going on in my head during the coma. No, it's reality.
But it makes you think you're in the matrix sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just like, wait a minute, this is the worst case scenario. I imagine this stuff because I was always politically active, politically minded as a kid. And everything the left, I always imagined the left was going to try to do, they in fact have tried to do. Basically, it's like, no, they went beyond that. Does here, hold
But
my
what's funny,
beer.
we talked about it before. Even when the Democrats aren't in power, they're in power with the
Right.
Republicans are just stupid people.
Well, they are because they don't fight back enough. They
They
don't. I mean,
don't fight back and they don't stick together.
no, because let's face it, that you and I are critical of people, and we have a tendency to say, "Oh, well, I agreed with them at this point, but they diverge to this." We'll call them out on it. The left doesn't. Their person gets in there, they're going to go along, just follow along. They let them lead them down the primrose path. I mean, they don't
I
question
mean, they were
anything,
all behind the Green New Deal.
right?
They
And
all
it's
and they all voted for the woman or the man in the dress, Rachel Levine.
all that.
That's so
I,
crazy.
I, ju- I just I can't I'm thinking I can't wrap my mind around that. Yeah, it's a hopefully it's just a bad memory real soon. But I mean, this is the person they're supposed to be head of telling us what mental illness is and also what health he was. That person possessed neither of those attributes. Wasn't mentally ill healthy and wasn't physically healthy. Over obese and they were identified the
And of
DNA
course,
reality.
they're all against RFK,
Yeah, and yeah,
even
he's
though he's just trying to. I sincerely believe that he wants to make America healthy again.
well, it's like the thing is, did you ever think of this though, Steve? That years ago when I was a kid, the person who wanted healthy foods and back to nature and stuff like that were the people who would be considered like the hippies on the left.
Okay, but you remember what a big deal they were all making fun of what you call it, Mr. Grape Nuts. What's his name? Yul
Neil
Gibbons.
Gibbons, yeah,
They all made fun of him
right,
for trying to get people to eat healthy and just explaining what's around them to that they can eat.
right,
And and I don't know. Anybody who's smart, they make come on, they told you Ronald Reagan was an idiot.
right.
They're telling you Donald Trump is an idiot. Ted Cruz is an idiot.
Yeah, it's like everybody's an idiot. Except that's the adrenal core, and they can't tell you a reason why these people are in the wrong. They're just going to say idiot, idiot. And that's the left. They act like they're the smartest kids on the block. They
No.
have got their mastered their lives and have never made mistakes. That's BS.
Or they
They're
go through this college, they get themselves a college degree and they think that they're smart now because they got a degree.
yeah,
Well,
it's like
80% of the people have a degree now.
yes, it's lost its currency. It's basically everybody. It's kind of lowered the bar too. Look at the colleges now. If you got the money, you're going to go to college. Okay, if you got the money, or you can get the funding to go to college. There's
Well,
not a lot of criteria.
my degree did help me get a better paying job.
And
I mean,
it's
was it dumb? It's just a piece of paper to me. And they asked me, "What do you want?" I want whatever degree I can get the fastest. I just want the piece of paper.
Right, and
And I
that's what I
got
think.
a piece of paper and they got me a better job.
But that
It
piece of
had
paper.
nothing to do with business management. It's healthcare.
That's what just that was my follow-up question. I was gonna say, was it connected? Was that paper connected to
No,
something in the reality? Okay, that's what happens generally. Basically, getting a college degree means you jump through hoops. You know, I've been around colleges all my life, and that's all it was. I mean, very few people I knew, except for maybe two people, went into the field and actually stayed in the field that they actually went into and got their college degree in. Because that's a lot of times you're promised something and then you get into it, you don't want to do it, or there isn't the jobs available you're so told to, you're lied to. So I mean, you got unrealistic expectations, and sometimes that's cool. You go on to find something even better, but it's college education's not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, I've
no.
been
I
around.
mean, I like what we're doing now.
Right, and I didn't have a college well, I guess that my college experience gives me the ability to talk about how so ridiculous college could be, but, and I love college. Don't get me wrong, I still
Uh,
think there's
there were classes that I liked. I didn't like like okay, I tested out in English or whatever,
mhm.
but they still made me take English. So I just went online and found what was it? Asheville University. Just got did I had English done in 12 weeks. It was accelerated.
It it's like I mean, I can understand wanting people to be better educated, be having, grammar down and know how to spell things pretty decently. I can understand all that, but I mean
No, the English they don't no. Remember, it's the format. It's
right,
either MLA or
APA, yeah.
APA format. But once you learned it, I most of my classes professors just said turn it in a paper. I don't care.
Not that didn't give you subject matter or they give you
No,
a
I
guide.
mean they gave us a choice what to write the papers on, but most of them didn't care about the format.
Well, I guess it's laziness on their behalf too. I mean, it's like, and I don't know why I would think I could say put, I wanted APA or
I don't know. The
MLA.
only classes that I had that they worried about the APA format or MLA was English.
It
And I
is,
did it backwards. I didn't, I waited and I took my core classes last,
that is kind
like
of, but usually,
English and math.
that is
I
usually,
was writing, I've written all kinds of papers before I took an English class
so you learned it already, had the process already
on my
before getting
own.
there. Yeah. It's like, and you do that. That's how you learn is through experience, trial and error. Oh, that didn't work. So I'm going to try this. And you got it. I mean, it's a very little bits that hard to overcome. I mean, somebody else has done it. That's my thinking. Somebody else has done it, if you're halfway intelligent, you probably get a good chance of going through it yourself. If they, I mean, I don't think it's something that's so unique that there's only a handful of people out there who can do this. And
In
obviously,
English, I mean, the English classes that they taught me a format, the formats, how to write a paper.
mhm.
That's it. It
Yeah,
didn't
and
make
it's
me a better writer.
no, that thing that comes through your how you want to express yourself. I think that's where the individual comes in. I mean, how much in depth you want to put into
I mean,
the.
I don't know how you wrote a paper. I would just write a paper and then I'd fix it. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah,
Just go through and just write the whole paper
yeah.
and then go back and then correct it.
That's it. What another thing is what I hated when I first started taking the classes in college. They wanted us to we write a research paper and they wanted us to come in with these notes and these note cards and citations written on these note cards. I never did it that way. I wrote the damn paper and then I'd come back and go back and put, oh yeah, I'll
And then
pretend like
find
this is
citations that would fit.
yeah, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, and so I put that in together and oh, this is good. I actually wrote the paper. I already had a plan in my head how what direction I was going to
Yeah,
take
like I
it.
said, I'd write the paper and then go get citations and then rewrite some of the wording where I got that citation and fit it into my paper somewhere so I could say that I cited someone else's work when it was my own.
Right, and yeah, see, that's where they would cite everything. That's another thing is I don't understand people, getting caught with plagiarism. I mean, it's all that is when you go into doing a research paper, doing a thesis, or whatever. You're doing research, and you're going to be
But think
drawn
about
from other
it,
people's work.
thousands of papers that are out there, and there's only so much information you can use.
Right.
Your paper's bound to sound like somebody else's paper.
Yeah, my dad said that about musical composition. There's so many notes in the scale, and guess what? Sometimes they're going to land next to each other on paper. I mean, it's not like a deliberate rip off or plagiarism or whatever, or trying to take credit for somebody else's work. I mean, it's just going to happen. And that's what it is with, let's face it, you can only go over so many subjects they're going to give you that's going to be totally unique or original. The wording, what are you going to do? Come up and create new words? They'd have a problem with that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just so the people's opinion. What are you? Okay, people, you listen to us. What are your opinions about needing a college education? Do you think that it's like? Do you think it's been over emphasized? Do you think that people should go to the trade schools? And I think that's a
It
great
depends
thing.
what you're doing. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know. I think your freshman year should be like your last 2 years in high school. That
Like,
everyone it I don't understand why high school isn't why you're maybe they are, I don't know. I haven't checked the curriculum lately, but you should be already writing papers in AP format and everything in high school, don't you think?
yeah, I think,
And
but
don't you think you should be able to test out a algebra college level in high school?
yeah, I think should. Yeah, I mean, if you had a good education, or at least you made an attempt for an education
I
on
mean,
your own.
why isn't that's what Germany does, is they part of their curriculum is they're geared towards what they're gonna do. And
Right.
if they're gonna go to college, then they start taking college preparation classes in high school.
It's like, there is I mean, I don't think they have the expenditure for per student like that we have here. Like, what is it, 18 to 20, 25,000 per student?
I don't know, you gotta remember, that's another thing that I don't understand is people think that these countries are on par with our country and have you know what I mean? Germany is only the size of, I don't
Michigan and
know, you could easily fit it in the state of Michigan.
mhm.
You could drive from top to bottom in like 8 hours, 8, 9 hours,
Oh, it's
or
the same thing.
side to side even the depends on the traffic and the way you're going. They're just little tiny countries.
And it's like, well, remember when I was talking to a woman in England, actually Michigan was bigger than England and Scotland, to get the
Yeah.
combined land mass was, not a huge amount, but it was considerable amount. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. People get that perspective diminished. They don't see that, that
And we're the piggy bank. We're uh, where everybody wants to come and sell their goods and wares,
but they won't allow their
but they
governments won't allow
don't.
us.
Well, they can't think about it. I mean, how much product could Germany possibly take from the United States?
That's a good question because what's the population?
I mean,
What
you got 50 states that are almost as big or bigger than Germany. How much of our product do you think they could possibly take? Not that much, right?
No, 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 because they still have the
Same thing with
population.
France, same thing with England. We'd overwhelm them.
So the only groups that actually could probably actually make because they're comparable or even larger than our population is India and China, because
And
their population is immense.
Russia.
Well, Russia, yeah, the scattered, wider area to, distribute the products. But yeah, those are about the only people who can absorb
But
our
our empire
products.
does.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're just tiny. They're tiny nations. I mean, let's face it. If we captured like 5% of the German market for any kind of ended product, they'd be seriously hurting economically. I
Right.
mean, devastated.
And that's what I'm saying. They can't. I mean, we say, I mean, yeah, free trade in the tariffs. I think it makes sense to tariff people and they're talking about getting rid of the income tax.
That'd be great if we could, because I mean, I think that's limiting. I mean, let's face it, it's a terrifying. Another thing is the IRS seems like a horrible organization, group to have to face.
I
They're
mean,
like,
wouldn't you rather just be taxed at the point of sale?
yeah, that's it. Okay, the business is passing it on to the government. I mean, I don't have to be that bothered by it. I don't have to fill out paperwork or whatever and have
No,
them
you just
search
live
my
your
butt.
life.
Right. See, the thing is too, another thing is right now you see like all these federal agencies basically examine with Elon Musk Doge group, and they're furious. These people are furious about it. But these are the same people who they wanted to hire 85,000 people to sniff up our bums and to have to justify our existence to them of
And
how we
then
spend our
also
money.
arm them too.
Yeah, armed them to the teeth. And no, no, we're not supposed to. They're just doing it because we need the income. Ukraine needs our money. Israel needs our money. The Western Europe needs our money. I mean,
But I mean,
we
think of all the
contribute to
money
all
they
these
could
countries.
save by doing away with the income tax.
Yeah,
They wouldn't need the I mean, I guess they would need the IRS in some form or
compa-
fashion.
Yeah, they'd still have to have the pass through. They have to have, the money, the income that is coming in has to pass through some agency, and that'd
But
be it.
just and then of course the welfare people would be mad because they wouldn't get any checks anymore. But maybe they're what's that when they give you a check just for existing, they were talking about that for a while. I forget what those checks are called.
Like, you talk about the recent ones past
No, what I'm saying is if they would give you a kickback every so often, you might end up with $4 or $5,000 a year just
yeah,
because the shared equity of the external revenue service.
that's, I'm not, let's face it, I don't feel few people don't want to turn that down. If it's from, not from the own taxpayer, other than your neighbors, I would have no problem with
I
it,
mean,
but
it's gonna take 8 years to get everything that Trump wants done.
so hopefully we can get
And
somebody who
here's what I
advances.
see. I see a Gabbard or an RFK in our future
Well, let's
as
hope
a
so,
president.
because I certainly don't want to see Kathleen Harris in there.
Oh,
She's
I don't think there's gonna be any kind. I think the Democratic Party, they're gonna learn their lesson and they're gonna come up with some decent people.
and I hope the Republican Party in Michigan comes up with somebody for the governorship when that's open, to run for the governorship because, oh God, I don't want what I've seen in the wings in that Democratic Party because Whitmer is horrible. I mean, we're
Or the
still suffering with
AG, I guess she's running.
it.
And then, like I said, you got Pete Buttigieg wants to run.
God help
I
us.
mean, you got some real winners, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he was a Buttigieg or whatever his name was. And that's a weird name too. And he can go by another name. That's one he chose. I mean, I think. Um,
That's his name, isn't it?
I heard there's another name associated with him, but he chose that name for his last
Yeah,
name.
but I don't think you can say those names in public.
Yeah, well, I say him I say in a private conversation all the time.
Hmm.
I think it yeah, but he wasn't he the mayor of like Indianapolis or
I
something?
don't know. He didn't do well.
No, and he was like what? Yeah, then he was when he was in the just with Biden's administration. Didn't he take off
Department of
maternity leave?
Transportation.
Yeah, he didn't do his job. Basically, he was gone too much. I mean,
I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, what's cool is Trump's already having all the pharmaceutical people. He's having a meeting with them to get the cost of drugs to come down.
So they won't have to re-import them from Canada, which
Well, we
obviously.
got to start making stuff here. There's no reason why I know it's a lot harder to sue an entity that's not in the United States.
That's all. That's a major reason why they're offshore. I guarantee it. I mean, the pharmaceutical headquarters might be here, but the manufacturing thing, which or might be connected to where they can sue at, isn't offshore. And another thing is, do I trust the quality coming in from India? No, I don't. The quality of products from any other country, China, certainly not China. I mean, I
Well,
don't.
they're already talking. There's fake weight loss drugs on the market right now. People are buying them as pharmaceuticals.
Hmm. And from other
They're
countries, or
not the real thing. It's just fake stuff is out there now. I've seen
and it
that
could be
report just before we went on.
saying that could be deadly. I mean, it could have
Yeah,
like
it is deadly. Well, people aren't. Yeah.
saying that there's unaccounted and there's no accountability when
Oh,
this
come on.
happens.
You know, there's fake stuff out there. We've probably taken fake stuff.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, maybe it did work. Maybe we thought it worked and just went on our lives. I don't know, but I don't know. That's the reason why the FDA is supposed to be in existence for, isn't it? Supposed to make sure that those things are more safer for the individuals to use. What's the purpose of that anymore?
I
I don't
don't know.
understand. To be bought by
Our
pharmacies. Yeah.
government sucks. Government's not the answer. You know that. I know that.
And I'm trying to get more people to understand that. But you got people who want a job in that career. It's an easy career. Once you get in, it's almost impossible to get rid of you. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be? They're going these federal employees are being axed under Elon Musk. Do you think they're going to go quietly into that dark night, or do you think they're going to have like all kinds of legal
I don't
lawsuits?
know if you had a job that you didn't like to do, and they told you that they're going to pay you for 8 months to go find another job. Wouldn't you take it?
I think I would. Yeah,
If
I think I would.
eight
This is
months at the same rate that you're getting paid now.
yeah, and even if you don't like, if you even like the job, hell, that's still a better offer than the rest of us when we get downsized. Our business get down, the work we work for gets downsized. I don't remember anybody I knew got their jobs cut. They actually got some kind of severance pay like that. No, I don't. I mean, they're privileged. The federal workers are privileged. I mean, not my dad when he was a postal worker, he was a grunt, but I mean, The ones up there where they wear a suit and tie to work, yeah, they are very privileged people.
I don't know. I just want. I'm still waiting for Kennedy to come out and make a speech. I want to hear what he's going to change.
I think he's. I never thought I was going to be glad to see a Kennedy anywhere to the government again. Quite frankly, I mean they never left government. There's always one from Massachusetts or from the Eastern
I mean, but
Seaboard states. But
they tried to do good things.
yeah, they try. I mean,
Maybe
JFK,
Teddy is like the
the worst one.
yeah
It's a sad story that he was.
the bumbler,
Yeah, can you
the
recall?
happy drunk.
Yeah, well, yeah. Can you remember? Can maybe it's like a stretch. I can't remember anything he did that I thought that was outstanding. Can you?
No,
I mean, legislation wise, and he'd been in there like, how long was he in? A senator or
all of his
congressman?
life.
Yeah, I mean, and they elected him after that Chappaquiddick situation. I thought that was when I heard about that. I was a kid, that when that
Yeah, but how
happened,
hard was that to hide?
it was
If
very
you had
easy.
the money, they hid it.
Yeah,
They still made fun of it later. I mean, remember it was don't go out with Teddy Kennedy around water,
do you remember that
especially if
Saturday?
you're a woman.
You said in that live skit with the Carters, it was like a family feud, the Carters versus the Kennedys, and all the Carter fan going Chappaquiddick, Chappaquiddick,
Mm,
and they bring it up every time, and they don't care. That's the thing is but I just think it's weird for me to actually be rooting for a Kennedy. It's bizarre. It's just the world is a bizarre place because I never
yeah,
thought I'd be on board for it.
I don't know. I think I'm starting to run out of gas.
Me too. So anyway.